What is good, my Impact Wrestling fam? Welcome to another edition of TNAIW Reaction, right here on the TNAIW channel. My name is Geoff. Thanks for rocking with me yet again, pressing play, hitting like, hitting subscribe. We finally hit 400, one fan at a time, one friend at a time. You guys know the deal, but I appreciate you. No paper here, man. We've earned these one interaction, one video at a time, and I am so proud of the crew we've had and continue to have, and for you guys to help build this community, man. Not just us, but Impact Wrestling. We are a reflection, hopefully, of the community, and I like where we're going, man. I like where we're going. I like where Impact's going. And we got a lot to talk about, but of course I got to plug the stuff here, including what we do on Tuesdays, Go Power Rankings. You guys vote along with the Power Ranking Committee, and then they do a show about it. It's really cool. It's Datala, Burt, and Lucha. Lucha, who you could also see or hear on Wednesdays soon enough, but we were doing Wednesdays, the 2K episodes. We just hit 1,000.1. So thank you for that. It was the beginning of the X Division tournament, the Super X Cup, to crown our first X Division champion. So a lot more fun stuff to come out with that. So please check that out. Hit like, hit subscribe, so you can be updated on all the shenanigans here, including something I'm going to bring back. I used to do a Hard 10 game show. I'm bringing back a different version, but G's Trivia House, something I do on another channel. I'm going to do it here for you guys around episode 1000, so we can celebrate the 20 plus awesome years of Impact Wrestling and 1,000 episodes. So look out for that. But you know what we're going to do here? We're going to go through ImpactOnAXSTV rather quickly. I'll give it my grade. We'll go over, or my rating. We'll go over some Emergence lineups here, because we're heading into Emergence, and I wanted to get one of these in here before that happens. Some updates on that as well, and what we're going to do post-Emergence. I want to get to your guys' comments as well. Ask G anything. Ask me via Twitter or right here in the comment section. I'll make sure to feature it and hit it as best as I can. Anyways, all right. So before we get into all that, you know where we start? We start with shit I missed last week. Listening back to the show, it's probably going to be a recurring theme because I got to subsidize the pain somehow. Got that Velvet Sky Cottonmouth. I apologize. I'll drink some water. I think I got some. Of course, it's low. But I'll do my best to stay hydrated and stop smacking. The other thing I mentioned, I noticed when I was speaking in 2X, was when I was putting over Taylor in the beginning on last week's Shit I Missed. I said day one, as a day oneer, it's supposed to be a comma. I'm saying as me as a day oneer, my mindset on Taylor, not Taylor Wilde being a day oneer. Got it. And the other thing was, I've been watching a lot of Restaurant Impossible. And shout out to Robert Irvine. I wonder if he says that to Gail a lot. Off you go. Could be interesting. But either way, love the show, and I swear to Lord I saw Bruce Pritchard on there on one of the opens. Check it out. I think it was on season 3. Anyway, stupid shit, but I want to connect with you guys. There's some other things I want to hit. One of them I'm going to hit now, one I'm going to save later with your comments because I know it hits it. But Joker Sting has made a reappearance, I guess, on AEW, I hear, and Impact was ready to put out the history of Joker Sting. So, hey, look, man, Steve Borden likes to do it, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. But speaking of stuff I enjoy, we move on, because we're going to start off Impact on Access TV, of course, with a great little recap, but we're getting right into it. Didn't like that they didn't have the full entrances, because both of these women are complete stars. I said that before, and I'll continue to beat that drum. But either way, it speaks through the TV, regardless of full entrances or not. Deanna's going to pick up the win here via submission against Kylan King, who's coming out with Taylor as well. I like that they were, I don't know if they were hinting towards Kylan kind of doing her own thing, but I'm glad Taylor's part of the package still. I think they could be interchangeable. I think they could still do their thing separately, kind of like the Beautiful People did, right? Angelina would do her thing, but Velvet was still there. I guess it helps when you have 3 people, but either way, I like this to help build momentum for Deanna and get her on TV, as well as Kylan. And then shout out to Deanna for the comments she made about Kylan this week in the sheets about just she could be the next thing, because I completely agree. I hope they don't bust too quick. Hope they take their time with it. Keep the coven together, but as far as an entity, they got it in the coven, and as far as a superstar, they have it, a potential one in Kylan, and of course Deanna's already there, but we're going to get her and Trinity at Emergence. We'll talk about more about that later, but nice way to start off the show. Look, walk, talk, and wrestle the par. Start off a little bit, they had to feel each other out, but I'm looking forward to take two with them, and let's move on. We're back with Gia in backstage. She's talking to Kenny and Sheldon. Sheldon just lost to Swinger on BTI. But the DMC, Kenny King is gonna face Swinger at Emergence because that's what Swinger's gonna go for. He's not going for the world. He's gonna use his title shot on this, but hey, whatever. It's funny enough. He's not gonna win. I say that now, but still, Kenny's got to keep this. Kenny picks up a mic. Kenny spits gold. Kenny. But at the end of the day, when Kenny's on screen, it's the Kenny show. Always eat his shit up, and he continues to stake his claim on that title, man. Let's see where he goes with it. Like I said, I think we can elevate a little bit more, even than where we were, even though it has a great lineage, and Hendry did a great job with it. But I see this as the IC. I know a lot of people say, oh, the direct lineage is DMT, or the DMT, the television title. We talked about that. I get it. But I like this meaning more. I like this meaning more than being, wrestled for on WCW Saturday nights. So, anywho, we continue. He's talking about Heath as well and attacking from the back. So I'm guessing we're going to Heath and Sheldon or Heath and Kenny program eventually. But hey, more the merrier for that DMC. Next, we're going to get a everybody cluster of moments to get a bunch of things done, so I get it. But Santino's going to be the connector here. We got Kevin Knight. He's talking to him. Bully shoos him away. He kind of gives him that bully liner of, oh, you're not going to be here next week thing. The talking down, I think I'm funny thing. And it works, I guess, to show how dickish Bully is. But, foreshadowing to later, I really wish they let Bully sit on that line, or he chose to sit on that line, whatever, because it would have meant something even more when we get to that Kevin Knight matchup that we're going to have later with Moose. But either way, he's going to pop back in to get that match official when Moose and Myers come out. I like the thing they did with Bully. Bully's acting tough, and then he goes right into cowering because of PCO. Sure. Good stuff here. Shelley comes in to say yup and get Myers versus Shelley for the title. So a lot of moving parts, but a lot of things getting taken care of in this. It was nice enough. We move right into another lack of entrances, but is what it is. We have a lot of things we're getting across. Multiverse United 2, getting Emergence together. But MK Ultra are making their entrance, and damn, these people are stars. And I think there was a time where a lot of you were scared what they're going to do with Masha, Killer Kelly floundering around, whatever. But there's different reasons for each of those things. And together, I think they found their footing. And I want them to hold these titles. I'm glad they're doing the thing I thought would happen at Slammiversary, the 4-way at Emergence. Showcasing this division that they've built wonderfully lately, Impact has. But isn't going to be great when they finally break up. I know it just happened. I don't want to get to the end quick. I don't want to, jump to fast forward. But it's going to be a good time when Kelly and Masha have that blood feud after separating. And then one of them hot shots one or both into that title picture, which I think this can do. And they deserve it, man, because this is some good shit. Jessica and Savannah are in the matchup as well. Jessica's going to take the pin, I believe, with Kelly picking up the win here, picking up momentum going into this matchup. I hope they don't lose this quickly. I want to make sure I make that point, but we'll see what happens. Jessica with a funny line about being this tall to ride. I immediately looked up Sammy's height on the Impact roster page, but I digress. Love Sammy, but anyways. Chicago crowd, want to point that out again because Chicago crowd is phenomenal. If there was anything relative to an Impact zone that we used to have when, I won't say regulars, because that kind of was hit or miss, but as far as into it, knowing the product and being involved in it, I love Love Chicago. So I got to give them their love. But we're going to go to a Dango segment, man. And this is just, could possibly be, being a homer, but the greatest shit on television right now. I love it, man. You know, I think we talked about it I know we talked about it extensively, but that this dude could be something more if he just dropped a comedy face act, right? And still turn himself up while using the comedy as a heel. I think this works perfectly. I don't know. I could ramble on about this all day, but I let him speak better than I can. The dude's legit. I don't mind the Alpha Bravo thing. It adds to it in glimpses. He's not giving out line. You know, it's nicely timed right now, with Dango still shining as the star. Phenomenal references. Mike Awesome for Jake something. Maybe he'll just be Jake Awesome. I don't know. But the Viano references, just some good shit here, man. All of it's good shit. I really enjoy it. And so we're going to get Dango and Jake at some point. And I've got some notes here, and I can't see it. So I'm sure this will be on shit I missed next week. But we move on. We set up this earlier. I mentioned it in a cluster way. But Moose and Kevin Knight are going to go at it. And, you know, this is a kudos to everyone involved, because this was one of those things that turns a B show to a B plus or whatever. You know, it doesn't matter. Who cares? But you know what I mean? This was just one of those matches that was, and that's why I said about the bully thing. Had he just said, oh, you're not going to be here next week, in more of a bully way, more take his time with it, be serious about it, Kevin Knight proved that he'll be here for as long as he wants to, man. This dude is legit. He's unique. We've said that since day one, man. This kid is going to be something, but not tonight, as far as in the win column. Moose picks up the win, but it's not an easy win. It's a great match, great storytelling. Kudos, and you always got to give your props to Tom and Matt, man, because I think that's one of the hardest jobs in the world, is not to get yourself over, not to be the star of it, but just be a narrator that just, you give a little too much, you're trying to get yourself over. You give too little, you're not adding to the story. So to find that perfect chef's kiss is what they did during this match, putting Moose over as the superstar that he is, making a mention without overdoing it that, you know, if Kevin wins, you know, could win this, that's a big win. It just all felt organic. That's the best compliment I could give. It felt like natural, good, old-fashioned wrestling storytelling, and I dug it, man. They had picture-in-picture during the commercial, I guess. I watched on YouTube, but that was interesting. And some Kushida references in here, because I guess that bigger picture, that's how this all started. I didn't get too much into that. You watch the show, you know. But love the panouts in these as well. I love the shots when they go back, and it's the whole impact zone, if you will. I love those. This felt like a big deal. It was a good time, and Moose over wherever he goes, because Moose is a star and might be Mr. Impact still. And I hope that whatever your contract is used wisely, as far as I know we need to create new stars, but who doesn't want to see the belt on Moose again? I don't know. We're back with Gia, and she's talking the Rascals. Did we miss them? We missed them, man. You're going to get them talking some shit. You're going to talk about ABC coming out here and saying they know they paid the Good Hands. This is an interesting take on that. I love that the Good Hands and ABC will be going next week at it. Gives Good Hands something to do. They're going to put on a banger together. And, you know, this keeps Rascals apart but together. I know we'll hit that in the comments, so I won't talk too much about it. I talked about it last week. This is your money matchup. We all know that. They know that. Take your time. Take your time. And they did. And there's accusations being thrown. We talked about that. And I don't know, man. But Wentz felt... Wentz is used to yelling out accusations at people, it seems. Or no, I don't mean it like... fuck me. Anyways. But either way... accusations were made. The Good Hands paid off or not. We're going to get ABC and the Rascals at some point. And tonight we're going to see if the Rascals advance to Emergence. Spoiler alert, they do. And I am very excited about that. I don't know if they take it. I would imagine they do. But there's also, you know, the UK tour coming up. So it makes sense to keep it on Subculture. You could work ABC in here so it's not a straight up loss. for the Rascals. But either way, the tag division's in a great place. Happy to have the Rascals back and look, walk, talk, and have charisma like stars, man. Next up is Big Con and Diener, and Diener's farting into the camera, doing it again. I hope they find their footing. I still think he needs to change his name, but from where we went to where we are now, leaps and bounds, great as far as figuring out where they should be. I still think, especially with Big Con, who has a Malice feel to me, it's very New Church. I wish they just go that route. We don't really have Decay together. We have the Coven, but they're doing different things. New Church would be something different. And it's a nice IP and throwback to years prior. But they're going to, well, first of all, EY, obviously he's going to come out. They're going to have a match, and of course it's going to be screwed up by the chair shot, so no one wins here. Love the EY entrance. Looks like we're getting a world-class Maniac. We're not going the Team Canada route anymore. We're kind of dropping that. Then we dropped whatever it was he was doing. Now it's world-class Maniac. I like that. Once again, going back to something that we all know the history of. Love the entrance. I will say this. I think, and I'm talking to production or whoever's a part of this, maybe EY himself, when he takes off the mask and then the music drops and it hovers, he should do Undertaker style, I think. He should take it off this way and then pop back. The other one kind of, boom, the timing was a little, but anyways. Who am I but little big things? I think the taking it off and then popping up with a screaming face when the music pops back up would be better, but anywho. Like that he's rocking the VBD yellow. Interesting. We'll see where the story goes. It gives both groups both entities something to do. And I want to see where it goes. Could we see them realigned? I don't know. We'll see where the World Class Maniac goes, but it's obviously not Team Canada. And we're moving on to the next chapter of what VBD, the design, is, or what will it be? Will become? It begins, guys. Next up is a music video. Speaking of Diener, kind of like him and Jake's old Good Workers or Good, someone help me out here, but from the IPWF days. The IPWF days. But we're going to get a Good Champions, I guess, vignette with Hendry and Yuya. Man, fun, different, time taker. I don't mean that in a negative way whatsoever. You got to fill each of these things to make it a collective show and make it not feel like it just lulls. And this it took some of the time and made it something different. And that's what you want, man. And I enjoyed it. Silly, but the charisma oozes through. We get to tell the story of, they're a tag team now in a different way than just we're going to go out there and pick up wins after win after win. There's other things here, and I like it. Next, Sabin is talking about Leo Rush. Love Sabin. Glad he's still here, man. And here for the long haul. Imagine there was a time when the Motor City Machine Guns were not part of TNA/Impact. It's a sad time. So I'm happy they're here, man. And Sabin's just a straight up legend. Samurai Del Sol is going to pop in and say, he wants Leo Rush too. And they end up making a match together. So I guess we'll see that next week. Sounds like a banger. Crazy Steve and Tom. Love the stuff they're doing with Tom. I told you guys that before. It establishes him as the main dude, and it gives Raywalt, or as the voice of Impact. I don't want to say the main dude, but the voice of Impact, because it also gives Raywalt his part too, which is, hey, I'm that color, right? But he's the guy who has the experience in the ring. He's the guy who, if they need him to go, hey guys, this isn't morally correct, go in the ring and stop them, he gets the bully stuff, right? So they each have their role, and together they have their parts, and it's a seamless transition. I love it, man. Love the team of Tom and Matt. But, Crazy Steve, that's where we're going. So Tom's with Crazy Steve, and this one, man, this was part 2 of what we're going to get continued here. We don't know where he's going or what this is going to go into, but we know we're getting to know Steve, regardless, a lot better, man. And this resonated with me. It really did. I've talked a little bit about my upbringing with you guys a little bit. I won't go too crazy into that, but as someone who, all they had waiting for him at home was empty cupboards and suicide notes, man, I get this. And for him to share his story, for him to take a chance, to be transparent, I respect it, man. I like it, and I will see where it goes. But at the end of the day, kudos to him for even taking this step and being real and trying something outside the box and tearing down the face paint, so to speak. So a little more on that later, but I resonated with me, man, and it's real shit. So that's cool. But next is Bully and Taurus. Bully's going to pick up the win here. It's a hardcore match is what it is. Get a little PCO at the end there. Chokeslam. He gets chokeslammed through. He eats it. How you guys feeling about this? Not my favorite feud, to put the two 50-year-old guys together. I think they're both great storytellers, and they're both great characters. But I know it keeps them... I don't know. We'll see where it goes. We'll see what the payoff is. But we get to see Bully scared, and we get to see PCO be Frankenstein, and that's both entertaining. So, I don't know. Next, we get a flashback to some equality. A little the kendo stick back there, and Eddie's talking to Gia about how she's, Lish is fine. She's a wrestler. She could take it. She's tough, which makes sense. But she's gonna stay, out of the way regardless. Kaz is gonna come in here, Kazarian, and throw the Kowalski stuff in, and we think it's over. They want it to be over, but Eddie doesn't. So they're gonna have one last fight, but this is gonna be at the Kowalski school. So that's pretty cool and interesting. Once again, adding just little character, getting outside the Impact Zone, expanding the universe. I like it. And then last but not least, the main event, which I've already mentioned, the Rascals picking up the win here against Sammy and Rich. Of course, a little shenanigans with a little spray paint and such. But either way, they're on their way to Emergence. Great main event, great storytelling there, which you're always going to get, especially when Sammy's involved. And I dug this episode. I give it, just to be whatever, I give it 7 3/8. That's what I'm going to give it. You know what I noticed, by the way, and I think this is where people don't mention a lot when they talk about Melzer, giving ratings each week. How do you reference how exactly it matches up to one you already gave an 8 or 7.2? Over time, it's all convoluted bullshit. But all that matters is, did you watch it? Did you enjoy it? And are you excited for what's to come? I check all those boxes off, and to me, that's a success. So I enjoyed this episode. Looking forward to what they're going to present in the future, including Emergence. But real quick, Multiverse. If you're wondering, did I watch it? I'm not talking about it. I haven't watched it. I'm actually going to watch it right after this. I figured it didn't have to play too much in the storylines, and I could do a review right now on it. It'd be good match. Okay, match, great match. Whoa, what a match. Wrestling. So, what do you want to hear me talk about? Great matches are all day? I don't know. But either way, I'm sure it's a banger. I'm excited to watch it. Let me know what you guys thought about it. From what I saw, and I won't give any spoilers in case you're doing the same thing as me and watching it a little bit later, a lot of Impact wins. And when it's a partnership that I think we have definitely handled with gloves on this time around and respected them and treated their talent like stars, I'm glad to see it. That's how partnerships are supposed to go. Awesome. Real quick on Emergence, I want to run that down because we are not going to be, obviously, Emergence on a Sunday. So I'm not going to be, doing it on a Sunday. Hopefully that Monday we could go live or do something to get a review out there. But I want to run them down really quickly. Trinity versus Deanna. We saw Trinity backstage as well. I want to make sure I mention that. I love that they're at least featuring the people who can't make it on camera, we'll say, right? You don't want to force them in somewhere. You don't want to run in. You don't want a backstage segment. There's only so much time. So put her there and watching. I don't mind that. But Trinity versus Deanna, which should be the main event. You got the Rascals versus Subculture in a tag title match. You got the DMC. Kenny King versus Johnny Swinger. You got Time Machine and Josh Alexander versus Bully Moose Myers and Leo Rush. Sonata versus Jake Something. What an announcement. Not only for Jake Something, who I wasn't nervous for when he. Well, yeah, I guess I was because I said, "What the hell are you gonna do with him?" Right? But then they gave him that video package and they gave him the Dango thing, and yeah, he's sticking up for wrestling, but they'll find something for him. Still thinks he needs a manager, not a mouthpiece, but a hype man. I think we'll get there, regardless. Giving him something relevant, and here he's facing Sonata, so a great place on the card, and we get our former X Division champion Sonata back. I am so excited for Emergence, guys. MK Ultra in this 4-way against the Shaw Taraj, Death Dolls, and Coven. I'm so glad they embraced that. And look, this is a complete telling of, obviously the world title on the men's side is in a 4-way, or excuse me, on an 8-man tag, so it's not being defended. But all the other belts being respected here, and, X Division as well, right? But it's just a good place, man. Good depth. May I'll have to do depth charts again soon because we're looking pretty good in that department. Yeah, pretty happy. How you guys feeling? How you guys feel about Emergence that's about to come? I won't, obviously, I just said that. I don't want to be redundant, but I'm going to tell you why I'm also rushing one out here. Got a little procedure coming up, guys, this, actually, Thursday. So I just want to, in case I need some time or whatever it is, I wanted to communicate with you, talk about this, communicate. I guess that's what it is. Have some friendship, and thank you guys for everything you do for me, continue to do for me, the spirits you keep me in, and then of course the past 3+ years of doing this channel and having some camaraderie. Hey, there we go. But let's move on, guys. Let's move on to the comments, and we'll try to keep this near 30 this week, but we'll read them, we'll talk about them, and I'll try to hit what I can. If I forget something, hit me up in the comments, let me know, and I'll talk about it on shit I missed next time. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of redactions. I love you, Wentz. I'm sorry. And other things there. Better wording. All right, let's go. Comment number 1, it's our buddy Chris Letta via Twitter here. Another solid reaction, my friend. Thank you. Steve's sit-down has been interesting. I agree. Multiverse 2 card is solid. It is solid. It was solid. And it looks like a banger. Gotta let Rascals ABC breathe. Right there with you. Got plenty of time and more time to build. Interested to see when Maclin returns. And Lacey Evans a KO. So I'll hit up Lacey Evans a KO real quick. Because that's a little... I don't know. I'll just hit it up first. I like Lacey Evans. I think when utilized correctly, she is a complete character from top to bottom. Like it or not, she is a character, and characters draw. I said the same thing about Bully. You might not like what he's doing or in or whatever at the time, but he's a character, and he draws attention from the TV, or to the TV. So I think she's great for that. I think we need to judge people based on who they are as performers, but also as human beings, sure. But we've had that talk before about her. I like her, and I think she would be an asset, man. I think she would. I think she'd add something different. That's the key here. We have the top notch of knockouts. Does she add something different? And Maclin returns, kind of goes hand in hand, military, right? So happy to read that. I had no clue. None of us had a clue. Well, I'm sure some of us had a clue, but we're not behind the curtain. At least I'm not. Good to see he's going to be back soon, healthy. He's already healthy, and I'm excited to see where he returns. I know I mentioned all the, because I'm going to keep beating that IP/TNA drum, but I was hoping something where they turn this team into an Aces and Eights, and Maclin's revealed as the leader of it or something. But at this point, if we're not going somewhere big like that with reveal, let's get him back in. Let's get him back as in this machine, because the dude's a star and is a time taker that really delivers every time he's on screen. And I miss the development, the continued development of this guy, man. Still think the anti-hero is the way to go, but we'll get there. Comment 2, and again from Chris, episode 1000 looking hella good. I agree. Can't wait to be there. If you guys are going, let me know. We'll meet up. I'll be there for both days. For the challenge you threw to us regarding who could show up from WWE, I would say OC and Bobby Roode. Yeah, Bobby Roode have the beer money reunion. That would be something. Yes, we need Tasha back. Now seems like a right time to have her. I agree. I think that's sooner rather than later, or I hope it is. I've mentioned that. I think that could be what Trinity faces after Deanna. Not to look past Deanna, but OC and Bobby Roode, yeah, man, I'd love that. Absolutely love it. Any old head from the great days, would love to see them. And of course, if it's Get Ready to Fly and the Good Brothers and Mia Yim, it's a pretty cool package, man. But all love, Chris. I appreciate, buddy. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the show. Buddy Millard here. Thank you, Geoff, for always having a great show. Thank you, buddy. I have a very strong feeling that Multi-Universe 2 ABC will get kicked out of the Bullet Club. It did not happen, but I think it's important to mention this because he says, I think they have evolved and don't need Bullet Club anymore. I'm glad we're on the same page. I said that for the longest time. If they're happy with it and there's a kick or whatever it may be in the rub from Bullet Club still, cool. But with Bullet Club Gold and Bullet Club Silver and 2000 and Black and White, to me it's dead, for lack of better terms. Maybe it's still profitable. That's awesome. And for them to have a launching point as Ace and Bay, it was a great place. But I'm happy they went with ABC. The crowds chant ABC. The merch, Bay was rocking, said ABC. I hope that's the route. But they rarely mention or have anything to do with the Bullet Club lately, except for this multiverse thing. So if it's just cool logo to throw in their pants, sure, why not? But I love ABC. Next up, Gary, buddy Gary. Always love your reaction shows, Geoff. Thank you. Impacts continue to do good with their crowds, yes. And like Scott Demore has said, one fan time. Episode 1000 does look really good right now. I agree wholeheartedly. Thank you, Gary. And I think last is from Big Ro, who I if you're watching, man, I dropped a thank you or a shout out on our bracketology episode regarding your the Bay and the Bay play. And so it's cool to see you write us on Twitter again and that you are out watching our growth in real time. So I'm happy you've been here for the first 400. Here's to 400 more. I want to thank you guys for making that happen. And on a little deeper thing, I know this is a little different. I already mentioned some stuff because I obviously have no shits given this week. As far as being open and transparent, but this is something I want to bring up because it's actually reminding me about Chris Bay, but it also reminded me of how I want to bring up what I'm about to say. So nothing too crazy, but I saw Chris Bay talking about the retiring. He felt like he was retiring and whatever, and I remember him. It was running back my recollection, and I remember tweeting him after he had put something. In those regards, maybe a year back, 2 years, I don't know when it was. So to see that he was on the brink of that and that now he's thriving and happy, Bullet Club or ABC or not, whatever it is, I'm happy for the dude, man. He is super talented. He's someone who grew up being a fan of this. And he deserves everything he gets here. And I remember projecting something when I responded to him, and that's what I'm going to bring up really quick because I actually found it. And it was just him saying, someone told you to pursue your dreams and you're going to work tireless for 6 to 10 years without seeing almost any success or results that what you're truly seeking. You guys could read. Yeah, would you still want to chase your dreams? So you could tell he was down and whatever. My response, and you guys could read it, but just basically about how Sam Jackson didn't get success to 42, Freeman to 52. Time is irrelevant. And I was just saying that if money and others' recognition is the dream, once you achieve that, and he will, because he's super talented, it won't fulfill any emptiness. Trust me. And work on you, and the moment will come. And the reason I say that is not because I don't believe I don't think I have even an ounce of where Chris is at now mentally. You do that on your own. You could have as much encouragement, and that's what I'm saying there. You could have as much applause and thank yous and great jobs as you get. But unless you make that change internally, you're not going to reach your full potential. And what I was doing in there was because I wasn't there mentally either. I was projecting as well. And the point I'm bringing this in is as I see, our numbers rising here, 1,100 already on TNA 2K. And yes, I have some personal stuff going on. I have some great personal things going on as well. And once I get everything cleaned up and cleared and we're in the gravy when it comes to the vessel, I have some stuff I want to share with you guys and some stuff that I would not be here if it wasn't for you guys giving me the encouragement or giving me that little extra or that little boost or that confidence to do any of this or keep me going or give me a reason, especially during COVID, to to talk to somebody, man. So you don't know who it's going to be. You don't know when it's going to be. But if you have the opportunity to spread some love and give someone some encouragement, you really don't know how much it means. And then when you see someone reach their potential, as Chris is doing, as I hope I can make you guys proud and do, it's a beautiful thing, man. So I thank you guys. I appreciate you for the 403. I appreciate you for the 1100. I appreciate you for the 3+ years. I appreciate you the most for being there when I needed an outlet and giving me the camaraderie and confidence I need to do what I'm about to do. So thank you guys. I love you. I appreciate you. Keep watching Impact Wrestling. That's enough for the after school special, but you got Sabin versus Samurai Del Sol, Trinity versus Jody Threat, ABC versus the Good Hands, Diener versus Laredo Kid, and Shelly versus Myers. Emergence to follow, and I'll be back with you guys after that. Check out GoGo Power Rankings Tuesday. Go check out 2K again Wednesday for the last of the first round matchups of the X Division crowning. And keep supporting Impact Wrestling. Keep supporting each other. Thank you for coming out, guys. God bless and good night. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.